Good afternoon, my dear children. How are you? Yes, I hope you are fine. Now, in the previous session, we discussed the law of consumer surplus, the law of equimarginal utility, the law of demand, and the last one, ordinal utility analysis, in which how the economists criticize the cardinal utility. Now, we are going to know about production. Production analysis. Production is the process of using material and immaterial in order to make output for consumption. Consumption means, that is in short, we say destruction of utility. Production means creation of utility. What is consumption? Destruction of utility. Production means creation of utility. That means the materials are used to produce something for consumption. So that is production. And the production is the result of the cooperation of four factors of production. That is land, labor, capital, and organization. So all manufacturers are aware that these factors of production are used on large scale and the cost of production is low. This is the reason why entrepreneurs or manufacturers are interested in enlarging the scale of production in order to gain profit. So in economics, production means use of resources in the production process. That means what? The use of resources producing something or commodities for consumption purpose. Now, let us see the production is created by four factors. One is land, then labor, then capital. Another one is organization or enterprise. Okay, so by using the four factors of production or getting the cooperation of these four factors of production, the commodities are produced. Here we say the production. So production is created by combining all factors of production. That means land, labor, capital, and organization. Now, first these two, land and labor, these two are called primary functions or primary factors. Why do we call these two are primary factors and these two are secondary factors? I tell you. This is primary factors and these two are called secondary factors. Now first let us take land. Land is one of the factors of production. And land comprises the soil, fertility, okay, and the farm. So the land is the gift of nature. It is created by nature. It is not man-made. Land is not man-made. It is made by nature. It is a nature. Land is the nature of our gift of nature. Land is the gift of nature, created by nature. Labor, labor refers to human labor, and that is also gift of nature. That is why we call these two factors as primary factors or primary functions of production. Okay. Now, when we come to know about the land, it has some characteristics. Land is permanent. Land cannot be moved from one place to another place. Land is not perishable. Land contains all the minerals. Land has the same form. It cannot be changed. Okay? So that is why we say land is a permanent factor. It cannot be destructed. So these are the important characteristics of land. Okay? Next, when we come to labor, labor is derived from human. The human is nature. Okay? So labor cannot be separated from one person and offered to another person. So what is the labor found in him is not permanent. So labor is perishable, and labor can be moved from one place to another place. That means what? When a laborer moves from one place to another place for employment or for earning purpose, then the labor is transferred from one place to another place. So labor is migrated from one place to another place. So labor perishes or labor destructs when a person dies. And labor cannot be separated. We cannot separate labor. When a person dies, labor destructs. That labor destructs. So labor cannot be separated. And next is here, labor is an active factor, whereas land is passive factor. It is not, the role of land is not very active, whereas labor is very active factor. And not only that, any work, that is labor in economics means any work undertaken for earning, any work undertaken for earning an income, for yielding an income. That is called labor in economics. Okay. Now, this labor has some characteristics. As I told you, the labor is not permanent. It can be transferred or it is transparent. It is, movable from one place to another place. This is how the characteristics change. And next one, it is also the factor active and mobile. That means the labor can be mobile from one place to another place. Next, we come to capital. Capital is also one of the factors of production. Now, this capital is in the form of buildings, machinery, plants, roads, and even other things. All these are called as capital. Now, there is a little bit of difference between investment and the capital. In the most form of using money for producing or in the production process is called an investment. Whereas capital includes all tangible and intangible goods. What do you mean by tangible goods? That is what I told you. Buildings, machinery, plants, roads, highways, and other things. All these are called tangible. Intangible means the amount or the money spent on advertisement and the money spent on training programs. Okay, this we cannot touch and feel, whereas the tangible commodities can be touched and felt, whereas intangible commodities cannot be touched and felt. Can we touch the training program? No. So capital has two forms. One is tangible and another one is intangible. And it is also not the gift of nature. It is a derived demand. Baumberg says it is the produced means of production. Okay, so it is derived from human being. It is derived from material. Okay, that is why we say derived demand. Capital is a derived demand. Now it has some characteristics. The important characteristics is it consists of all kinds of wealth. It consists of all kinds of wealth other than the gifts of nature. The one is, and it is also the secondary means of production. And these two are called primary means of production. Capital and organization are called the secondary means of production. And this also has some, important characters. The important characteristics is the capital is durable. It is durable. For example, when a tractor is used in agriculture for production or in cultivation on a farm, then it can be kept unused. Tractor can be kept unused. Now, the period during which the tractor is kept unused is called not capital, because all capital is wealth, but not all wealth is capital. Okay, all capital is wealth, but not all wealth is capital. That is why I'm telling you this example that a tractor can be used in cultivation, but due to some reason, it can be kept idle or unused. Then during that period, we cannot say the tractor is a capital. We say tractor is capital asset. So when it is not being used during that period, that quality or the position of that product is called capital asset. So that is the important factor of capital. And next is the capital is also in the form of finance. We say it's a financial capital. Financial capital in the sense, as I told you, as I already mentioned, the money which is spent for production of goods and services, the money which is put on to provide goods and services for consumption, that is called financial capital. Okay, so tangible capital is all the materials. Then intangible commodities or intangible capital is including all the money, the amount which is spent on goods and services. So here, the important factor of capital is without capital, the production is not possible. Okay. Then who invests for production? Organizer, an entrepreneur, or a manufacturer. Okay. So he puts his capital or he puts an investment on production of goods and services. Okay. So that investment is obtained by saving. Suppose you have a huge income. Can you say that that huge income is completely spent on purchasing of goods or purchasing of commodities? No. You save one part of your income. So that saved amount is called an investment. That saving, that is why we say saving is equal to investment. So for what purpose the amount is saved is going to be utilized in the production of goods and services. That is called capital. That is called investment. Okay. So the saved amount is being used for production of goods and services. That is, so capital is one of the important factors of production since it is not a gift of nature, since it is derived from human beings. That is why we say it is a derived demand, capital. Then who puts capital? An organizer, a manufacturer or a producer. Then to organize all these three factors of production, say land, labor, capital. There must be one reason to organize all these factors. And there must be one person to organize or to combine all these three factors. Then who is that person? He is called an organizer. A person who organizes or combines all these three factors of production and cooperates and runs and coordinates these factors and runs a business or a firm. That is called an organizer or an entrepreneur or a producer or a manufacturer. Okay, this is how the organization is the last one, but which is organizing all these three capital, all these three forms of factors of production. So here, the role of entrepreneur is very, very essential. Without organization, there cannot be combined factors of production. There cannot be possible for producing goods and services. So to organize or to combine or to coordinate these three factors of production, an organizer is needed. Now here comes his work is to organize. Why he organizes these three factors of production? To earn profit. That's why there is residual, residual, RESIDUAL. This is called residual factor. Residual in the sense an entrepreneur, while using these three factors of production, may get loss or profit. If there is positive, if the residual is positive, then it means he gets profit. If the residual is negative, then he meets loss. That's why he is also called a risk bearer. What is he called? Risk bearer. Whatever the type of risk that he meets or faces, he has to bear. He bears all things in order to provide goods and services and in turn earn the profit. Okay, that is why the organizer is playing a very important role in the production of goods and services. So these four factors are very essential in the production process. Okay, so all the manufacturers involved in the production of goods and services on a large scale. While engaged in on large scale production, the cost of production is low. That is why most of the manufacturers get involved in the enlarging production or enlarging scale of production so that it can earn more profit. Okay, so that is why this organizer is called an entrepreneur whose participation, whose involvement is very essential in the production process. So land, labor, these two are called primary factors or primary functions. Then capital and organization, these two are man-made. These two are made by human beings. That's why it is called secondary factors or secondary means of production. Okay, so please understand the basic production process which has the four factors of production and their characteristics and how they combine and they get involved in the production process. Now, in the previous session, when we analyzed the ordinal utility, you must recall all these points when you go through your textbook. There is little difference between cardinal and ordinal utility. Cardinal utility gives pressure on or emphasizes on the utility can be measured by cardinal numbers, whereas ordinal utility criticizes. The economist who supports ordinal utility criticizes that utility cannot be measured or can be ranked, but be ranked, compared, or ordered by ordinal numbers. So that is the main difference between cardinal analysis and ordinal analysis. Now, what we have just seen is production analysis. This is the a basic form of the economic life. As I told you, consumption means what? Destruction of utility. Utility is destructed. That is why in short form we say consumption means destruction of utility. Production means creation of utility. Whatever the commodity that is created is consumed, is destructed, is going to be discarded, is going to be consumed. That is why in short form you can easily remember production means the using of services, resources in a means of production or the creation of utility. Okay, thank you, my dear children, and you just go through your textbook and observe and follow the COVID-19 precautionary methods. The second wave is, very rapidly and effectively spreading all over our country. That's why you, the students, should guide your parents sometimes and analyze the impact of this COVID-19 and protect yourself from this COVID coronavirus, which is, spreading very fast in our case. So protect and follow the precautionary measures and wear your mask when you go out and wash your hands. And these two are very essential to protect from the coronavirus. Thank you. Sir, yeah, you please check my voice. Oh, oh, oh.